taught 3rd grade and 5th grade and did some high school teaching, and I taught in this country, and then I had one of my most interesting and challenging experiences teaching in a country called Rwanda. So when I moved to Rwanda and I had my 3rd grade teaching position, one of the biggest surprises when I got to Rwanda is that I did not have running water in the house where I lived. I had sinks, a shower, a toilet, a kitchen, but I had no running water. It was the dry season and the water just wasn't running. So every few days, every 3 days, I had a friend deliver jerry cans. That's what that's called, a jerry can of water. Now the water wasn't clean, it was from a river, sometimes a standing river, and it looked a lot like this, sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes it looked like this. And I had to boil and filter it if I was going to drink it, and sometimes I would just use that to wash my clothes because I did not have the time to boil and filter it. So that is called a jerry can. Okay, all right, yes. What is your name?
Chad.
Chad, come on up here. Chad, I need to know, last night after dinner, what did you have for dinner?
Hamburger helper.
Hamburger helper. Who washed the dishes?
My mom.
Okay, your mom probably used 5 gallons of water to wash the dishes. Can you please choose 5 and put them over here? Thank you, and then you can have a seat. You in the gray sweatshirt, what's your name? You.
Clayton.
Clayton, come on up. Clayton, did you, and it's okay if you did you take a shower last night? No.
Oh my gosh.
Come on over here.
I took one this morning.
Or this morning? Oh, okay, perfect. I don't know if many of you know this, but every minute out of your shower head, on average, 5 gallons of water come out. Every minute. So do the math. If you take a 5-minute shower, how many gallons are coming out? 25. And you can do the math. All right, please put 5 up there just so we can, let's pretend that you took a 1-minute shower. You're a speed shower. Okay, yes, what is your name?
Hannah.
Hannah, come on up, Hannah. Did you brush your teeth last night or this morning? Did you leave the water running when you were brushing your teeth? Oh, thank goodness. Okay, if you did, it would have been a gallon. Please put a gallon up there. Okay, you can see we're really adding up just from what we did last night with water. When you woke up this morning, I'm assuming everybody used the toilet, okay? Who would like to put, it's about 1.5 gallons per flush, unless you have a really super fancy toilet. Who would like to put about 1.5? Yes, why don't you go put 1.5? Okay. So you can see that that is a lot of water. Now, when I walked to the school where I taught, when I taught 3rd grade, I walked about a mile, and then I got on a taxi bus, and then I got dropped off, and then I walked another mile, and they were all dirt roads, very beautiful. Rwanda is, you can see in the background there, very green, which means they get a lot of rain. Yep, they get a lot of rain. And I would walk to school, and I got to know a lot of wonderful children on my walk, and they taught me some Kinyarwanda, because that was the major language. Hardly anyone spoke English when I lived there. And they taught me a lot, and I learned that about half of the children that I got to know were going to school. They were on their way, they had their uniforms on, they were on their way to school, just like I was. The other half, like this boy, were walking for water. This was probably at 9 in the morning, could have been his 2nd time getting up to walk for water. His family, even if they had the money, needed him, even if they had the money to send him to school, they needed him to have the job to walk about 1 mile to 3 miles per way to gather water for the family because there was no running water at home. And so I got to know a lot of children who that was their main job, just as your job is coming to school every day, their job for their family multiple times a day was to walk for water. Now, this is nothing compared to what a lot of kids carry in Rwanda. How far would this water go? I mean, we saw, right? Washing our hands is about a gallon. Brushing our teeth sometimes is about a gallon, depending if you leave the water on or not. Flushing the toilet, almost 2. So really, this water doesn't go very far. So generally, the children are collecting a lot more at a time. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put these here, and I want you to walk really carefully all the way down to the door and back, okay? And please try not to jiggle the gallons too much. All right, now, this might seem like a really fun thing, like, oh cool, kids don't have to go to school, they get to go on a walk, they're seeing all sorts of things, they're playing with their friends, they're doing playing soccer on their way, but really, education is a gift, and a lot of times these kids are getting up very early in the dark by themselves to carry this water. How do your arms feel? A little tired? Thank you very much. Okay, how many of you have ever walked or run a mile? So you know how far that is. You can put your hands down. I know 2 children personally in Rwanda who walk 5 miles per way to gather their water every day. That's all they do, is gather water. So the walk is hard and sometimes dangerous. A lot of times the walk is alone, like I mentioned. A lot of times it's in the dark. I have a friend who one time when she was carrying her water when she was a little girl, she fell and hit a rock and got a very large gash in her face. She's 30 now and she still has a large gash in her face just from walking for water. But the most dangerous part of this, does anyone have any guesses? I mean, the words are right there too, but yes.
Animals.
Animals are dangerous too on the walk for sure, but any other guesses? Bacteria. When I was in Rwanda, I was sick about 2 or 3 times from the water. I got a parasite, really fun, not very fun. Got very sick from the bacteria, and here is a list of some of the diseases that unclean water can produce. So now I have a little quiz for you. Okay, raise your hand if you think this is unclean water. If you think all the car accidents in the world are more dangerous than clean water, raise your hand. Unclean water, sorry. Okay, wow, this is a smart group, okay? Next, what about lightning? People being hit by lightning. Is that more dangerous than unclean water? Raise your hand if you think lightning is more dangerous. What about violence? All forms of violence. War, guns. Okay, here's the answer. You're not going to believe this. Unclean water is more dangerous. It kills more people than all forms of violence. So I'm going to talk to you about 2 kinds of water scarcity. Does anyone know what water scarcity would mean? Yes.
The water is not plentiful.
I'm sorry?
Water is not plentiful.
Oh my goodness, I love that word, not plentiful. Yes, you're right. There are 2 kinds. There's physical water scarcity and there's economic water scarcity. Can someone explain what physical water scarcity would mean? Yes?
Does it rain for a long time?
Okay, it hasn't rained for a long time. What's the word that starts with a D when it hasn't rained for a long time? Yes? Drought. Drought. And you can see up here all the orange, even in our country. There's physical water scarcity. You see in Australia, in Asia, in Africa, and then there's also economic water scarcity. What would that mean? Let me pick someone from this side. Economic water scarcity, having to do with the economy. What would that mean? If the land isn't producing water, you would have to. Yes, do you know? Sorry?
People might use too much.
Okay, they might use too much. Economics, yes?
We don't really have enough money to buy water.
Yes, exactly. People don't have enough money to buy it. Did you know every month your parents get a bill and they're paying for the water that you have in your house? Well, a lot of people don't have those means to do that, which is very sad. So the amount of people in the world today, which unfortunately my PowerPoint did a poor job, I did a poor job being able to show you this, but there are 3, some of you may be able to see it, there are 3 maps of the United States. And the population of the United States times 3 is about 1 billion people do not have access to clean water in the world. 884 million people, and some people say it's 1 billion. So it is the most deadly problem in the world today, but it's also the easiest to solve. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit about how. How do you think we can solve this? Because it really is, I've seen it's very easy to change whole villages and provide clean water. Do you have any ideas on how people can do that for communities? Yes.
Make reservoirs.
Reservoirs. Love this group. Yes?
Collect rainwater.
Oh, sorry?
Collect rainwater.
Yes, that's my favorite way. Collecting rainwater. I call it rain harvesting. Anybody else? So, oh, yes?
Maybe boil it.
Boil water. We're going to back up one step and see how we can even find that. Maybe we could use, are you saying like river water?
Yeah.
Yeah. Irrigation, that kind of thing. So the ways, my nonprofit, we're called For More. The different ways that we try are, one is drilling. This was at one of our villages. A huge, enormous truck comes with a big drill, and they go down. I'm going to have you guess how many feet down you think that you'd have to go to find water. Sometimes it's right there. Majority of the time, it's a little bit further down. Yes.
100.
Sorry.
100 feet.
100.
Yeah.
Okay, a little less. Very good guess. Yes.
50.
Very close to 50. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Close. 60 feet is generally how many feet you have to go down to hit water, at least in sub-Saharan Africa. Then my favorite way that someone mentioned was rain harvesting, which is what we do is, because like I mentioned, Rwanda is a very green country, lots of rain, on average about 60 inches of rain in some parts of Rwanda. This is at a school, and we have lots of gutters around that we collect. And in this big cistern, cement cistern, we have a quartz filtration system, and then the water's stored in there. And then out here is where clean water, clean and cold because it's underground, is produced. There's another image. You can see either a school or a health clinic or a home here with the gutters, and then that's what the system looks like. And then also another thing that is saving a lot of lives is sanitation, hand washing. When you don't have a lot of water, when I didn't have a lot of water and I had to conserve my jerry cans full of water, I'll be honest, I did not always wash my hands, because instead I needed to wash my clothes, I needed to clean my house, it was very dusty, I needed to use the water for different things, so I didn't always use the clean water, and that's probably why I got sick some of the time, because I didn't get the bacteria off my hands. And the same thing happens in our country. We all know we get the flu, we get the stomach bug if we don't keep washing our hands. So here are some different looking hand washing solutions. This is a school where we just did some work. So there's the water from the rain harvesting is coming down and into here for hand washing. All right. So now you all have the power to make a big difference, and I wanted to hear some of the ways you think that you can make a difference and provide clean water to the developing world through different organizations. Because even $1 goes a very long way to change whole villages collectively. Okay, what if you chose for 1 month to not drink those things and just drink water, and ask your family to put that money, set that money aside to help other people have clean water? That's an idea. Another thing that one of our friends did in Virginia, we got a letter from a mother of a 5-year-old who said her son, instead of having gifts at his Superman birthday party, he said, please just bring a donation so that families in Rwanda can have clean water. His brother was adopted from Rwanda, and he wanted to give back after seeing what lives were like there. And then the other thing that we like to do is we have walks for water. And basically people come with a gallon of water, doesn't have to be dirty, or 2. Some really hardcore people were walking with 2. And we had about 500 people do a walk for water. They walked 1 mile, and they had people sponsor them, or they just paid a donation and walked a mile, and we raised enough money to provide clean water for a whole entire village. Just from that one, when we have kits to do that on our website for different communities. So now it's your turn. What are some of your ideas? What do you think you could do?